Thanks so much for tuning in this conversation. I'm Neeraj Shah, and Orient Green is a mid-sized, small-sized company which has recently made an announcement that they have accepted the proposal uh, of an external resource uh, to set up additional capacity or reach up a capacity size of 1 gigawatts in a few years' time, I presume. How will they go about doing this? What else is in plan, or what else is in store in terms of plans? Let's get in Mr. T Shivaraman to talk about all of this. Mr. Shivaraman, thank you for taking the time out. Hope all is well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is ours. Could you tell us a bit about this ambition to set up or reach the capacity of 1 gigawatts?
Yeah. So OGPL, we have been primarily a company supplying wind power to commercial and industrial establishments. Our bulk of our capacity has been in the C&I space, although we do have a little bit of capacity in PPA. And over the last few years, we have had issues in the company, primarily on the PPA side, sort of very kind of paradoxically, that we had certain disputes in Andhra Pradesh that were pulling back on our performance. Those fortunately have got resolved, and as a company, we are in a much more stable position. In the interim, what has also happened is that the C&I space has massively opened up. We find a lot of our customers, both existing and the new customers, who are looking for a lot more power, as especially export-oriented companies and divisions of multinationals, they find they have a target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. And one of the key things that they need to do is to beef up their renewable power purchase. So we see a tremendous opportunity to grow the C&I market, C&I space, and grow both in the wind and the solar space, to be able to supply our customers with 24/7 power, renewable power, to allow them to meet their requirements from their customers. So I think the market is huge. The demand for power is practically infinite. The only question is, how do we structure it? From a regulatory perspective, also things are getting clarified. There is the regulatory space is much more friendly now to C&I power than it was a few years ago, and we believe that this is the time to really look at expansion.
Got it, sir. So I believe on the regulation side or on the government side, there's a clear policy now for offtake of wind energy or solar energy or hydro energy, as the case may be, for the next 5 years at least. Is what enthusing companies like yours to set up these ambitious plans?
There are two or three parts there. One is that the central government's regulatory push is very clear, that they want to increase the penetration of renewable energy, and I think the Ministry of Power has been extremely supportive across the board. The state governments have been a little more patchy. Naturally, as renewable penetration increases, there are certain costs which accrue to the state utilities. And given the financial status of the state utilities, there are obviously counter pressures to reduce the kind of penetration of renewables. But I think that's getting worked out. So that's very recently there was a regulation which now permits the sale of interstate sale of power by captive producers of power. I mean, every single regulation that has come in the last few months has been positive. So I think that's something that we are wanting to kind of grow off the back of.
Got it. So what is the current capacity that you are at? And what is the addition capacity that you've taken this resolution for, a resolution or whatever you call it? But I believe there is a mandate now that has been handed to the management that let's set up this capacity. Tell us a bit about all of that.
Yeah, currently we are at about 400 odd megawatts. Bulk of it is in Tamil Nadu. We have a little bit of capacity in Andhra and Gujarat. We have essentially decided to...
Sorry.
Yeah.
All of this is wind power?
All of this is, at the moment, all of this is wind power.
Okay.
We do not have any solar at the moment, but we are starting the process of looking at setting up solar in Tamil Nadu to feed our existing customers. We will be doing repowering because some of our assets are somewhat older vintage. So the sites are fantastic, but the wind turbines are like 2-3 generations back. So those will be replaced and repowered as we go along. So that will add capacity in terms of, at least, if not in terms of nameplate, but in terms of generation. And definitely we'll be doing a lot more solar so that we have a more balanced portfolio of both wind and solar, which we can supply to our customers. That is Tamil Nadu. We are looking at possibilities in Andhra, in Telangana, as well as in Maharashtra, because all three states, the customers that we are supporting in Tamil Nadu have operations in these states, and they have been asking us to kind of supply them power there also. So that's something that we intend to leverage going forward.
Okay, so this 1 gigawatt of capacity, which it means additional 600 megawatts to the existing
Additional
400 megawatts?
megawatts over the next few years, yes.
Okay, additional 600 megawatts. Okay, and a large portion of this or all of this existing as well as new capacity will not be a B2G contract or PPA with a state body, but will be with private customers.
Yeah, the bulk of it will be with private customers. We may do some PPAs if it makes sense, but I think there are other people who are focusing on the PPA market. That's a different ballgame. I think our expertise lies in the B2C or rather B2 industry, what we call the C&I, commercial industrial space, and I think that is where we will focus our growth plans.
Okay. Now, 600 megawatts at the bare minimum, whatever, northwards of 3,000 crores, you could argue it goes up to 4K. How do you plan to fund all of this? I know it's a mixture of debt and equity, but still, please tell us.
No, we will be raising equity as we go along. We are actually raising some equity right now, more for deleveraging than for growth. But we will be raising equity. We are talking to quite a few people on various structures that will allow us to raise equity either at the holdco level or in some other structures. So obviously, growth will require equity raise, but I think that is a conversation that we are having with a number of people. And once something kind of matures to a stage where it can be disclosed, we will be definitely talking about it.
Okay, so you are saying that you might raise funds at an SPV level for specific projects, or you might raise funds at the Orient Green.
At the listco, yes. We're keeping both options open.
Okay, are there timelines to which?
Obviously, timelines will work out. I mean, I don't think I can commit on timelines right now. It's a listed company, so I can't.
No, not a commitment, just indicative thoughts of when by when would you want to do it?
Next few years. I mean, see, the opportunity is not going to last forever. If I don't grow in the next 3 to 4 years, then somebody else will kind of, my customers will not be standing and waiting for me to supply power. So somebody else will grab my customers. So I have to kind of move reasonably quickly.
Okay. One quick question. There's one of the exchange notifications which said that you are monetizing some vacant land parcels and one of your subsidiaries did that and maybe more might be in store. Did I read it correctly and what is this about?
Yeah, see, there are 2 or 3 things we're doing. One is that we have a lot of land in between our turbines. Wherever that land is usable for wind or solar, we are retaining it and we will be expanding or using more or installing more wind and solar turbines in that. But we also have, as part of it, certain land parcels which happen to be next to a highway or have better commercial value than value as renewable energy assets. So those we will, obviously, they're not core to us. So if there is there's an opportunity, we do monetize such parcels.
Is that a large number out there? This one probably yielded you about 15.5 crores.
It's not big. It's not huge numbers. From what we will monetize is not large numbers, but it's sensible. There's no point in sitting on land if you're not using it. But we are retaining all the land that is usable for wind or for solar. So everything that is core to our business, which helps us in our expansion plan, we will retain. But wherever we can sell without impacting any of our expansion plans, obviously we will look at selling.
Got it. My final question, Mr. Shivaraman, how about the supply side? Because when I talk to the Suzlons and the Inox Winds of the world who are into wind, their capacities, they're expanding, yes, but it seems to be tied up in a meaningful way already with existing players. Would you be able to set up all the plans that you envisage in the timelines that you are thinking of because of the limited suppliers availability?
I don't think that will be a serious issue. I think first bunch of capacity that will come on stream will probably be solar, where the capacity constraints are not so severe.
Okay.
We do have substantial, because already I have 400 plus megawatts of wind, so until I get a few hundred megawatts of solar, the portfolio is not fully balanced. And as the time moves on, I don't think capacity, compared to the size of the market and compared to how much of capacity everybody is bringing on, if I require 150, 200 megawatts of wind capacity, it's not a huge number.
Got it. My final question.
We have enough contacts, so I think we should be able to get that.
Fair call. My final question. as you yourself said, that due to various issues, the past numbers weren't the strongest. I think you've turned a corner of sorts in the last 12 to 18 months. From what you've done at the end of FY23, Mr. Shivaraman, how do the numbers move ahead, you think, FY24, FY25, so on and so forth?
No, numbers will be definitely better. See, in the past, we had this issue with Andhra Pradesh, due to which we had the difficulty in servicing our term loan liabilities. And the rating of the company was pretty bad. We have, in the last few months, become current, upgraded ourselves, refinanced the bulk of our debt from a consortium of bankers to IRIDA and a little bit of debt from HDFC and others. So we have brought our average cost of debt down from about 12 point something percent to about 9 point something percent. So we are almost like 3 percentage points down on our debt costs. So that impact has not been felt in the last financial year because it's to the end of last financial year, but that impact will definitely be seen in this fiscal's numbers. And going forward, I think we will also see a further reduction in interest rates, a reduction in the total kind of outstanding debt on existing assets, which naturally based on repayments. And as new capacity comes on stream, definitely the numbers will start looking much better.
Okay, so just to clarify, just a small follow-up, the new capacities, the schedule of these coming on stream, is there some game plan that you can share?
No, that will not be in this fiscal, definitely, because it takes time to set up assets. But starting from the next fiscal, you will start seeing numbers coming in from new capacity.
Of new assets as well?
Yeah.
Okay, fair call. Great talking to you. All the best for the targets, and thanks for taking the time out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure is ours. Viewers, thanks for tuning in.